A non-governmental organization, the Advocates Sans Frontières France, otherwise known as Lawyers Without Borders, in collaboration with the Australian High Commission in Nigeria, have organized a two-day capacity building for members of the National Committee Against Torture, with the aims of creating a torture-free criminal justice system in Nigeria. Clearview News and Mafonokon was there and now tells us more.
Just yesterday, we are very pleased to have received a judgment, a very symbolic judgment, in one of the cases supported by Avocats Sans Frontières France, or rather filed by Avocats Sans Frontières France, on behalf of a victim of torture in Kaduna State. And we did that at the ECOWAS court, and the judgment was delivered just yesterday. It is a very symbolic case because here we see a case of a young man who was, for no just cause, shot by the police early in the morning without any excuse or justification, and arrested, denied medical treatment. Sunday Adedeji lost his leg due to that ordeal. One of his leg had to be amputated. And now in this particular case, yesterday the ECOWAS court held that the Nigerian government had violated the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, which is signed up to protect, which prohibits torture, and awarded 60 million naira damages in support of the victim.
To further safeguard human rights in Nigeria, as part of measures towards ending incessant cases of human rights violations and demanding justice for victims in line with the United Nations Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhuman, or Degrading Treatments and Punishment, the country director, Advocates Sans Frontières France in Nigeria, Angela Uzoma, and the Australian High Commissioner in Nigeria, Lynn Johnson, said the two-day capacity building is to ensure effective implementation of the Anti-Torture Act 2017 while pushing for accountability for perpetrators of torture.
So at the end of the 2 days training for the National Committee Against Torture, we expect that the committee would have been better built and supported by having their capacity built by experts in this area to take on from international best practices to be able to do their work better as a committee against torture.
I think that training like this that we're doing over the next couple of days will help set the frameworks to ensure that while the legislation is in place, and it's a very good piece of legislation, that the Nigerian government will have a framework to ensure that the penalties for proven cases of torture are implemented, and that will act as a deterrence to put an end to any proven cases of torture.
Other stakeholders at the event said the capacity building program for members of the National Committee Against Torture represents a strategic initiative to fulfill the requirements of Article 18 of the Options Protocol to the Convention.
The National Committee Against Torture is a key driver, or at least ought to be a key driver in the fight against torture and cruel, inhuman and degrading treatment. But over years, that committee had been inert, has been, a lot of people don't know about it. It's been unable to function as it ought to have functioned. So the Lawyers Without Borders and those who have supported them have done an incredibly great service to Nigeria in trying to build capacity within the National Committee Against Torture so that they can also on their part begin to do the work that they were created to do.
I am confident that we will apply the knowledge and skills that we will acquire to work as members of NCATS by working in collaboration with relevant stakeholders, including law enforcement agencies, judiciary, civil society organizations, and so forth and so on. By doing so, we can ensure a comprehensive and coordinated response to torture and create an environment where accountability and justice will prevail.
Advocates Sans Frontières France, otherwise known as Lawyers Without Borders, has been working to support victims of torture through legal assistance across Nigeria since 2009. Imefonokon reporting for Clearview News.